Yes.
Blessed be the God and Father of our Lord Jesus Christ. According to his great mercy, he has caused us to be born again to a living hope through the resurrection of Jesus Christ from the dead, to an inheritance that is imperishable, undefiled, and unfading, kept in heaven for you, who by God's power are being guarded through faith for a salvation ready to be revealed in the last time. Join us for the 2025 G3 National Conference here in Atlanta, Georgia on September 11th through the 13th. We hope to see you there.
Grace and peace, you guys. Welcome to the Standard of Truth podcast, where we discuss all things social, cultural, political, and theological from a biblical perspective. Happy Saturday, you guys. Y'all, right before I started the live stream, right? I grabbed me some Magic Mind, started drinking it. Then I realized I ain't got my fan. I was like, oh no, it's a crisis. I was going to stop the show, but I didn't. My daughter came and brought me my fan. So in case of an emergency, I'm going to be just okay. Today's show, you guys, I am back. I got back in late last night from Fort Lauderdale, Florida, where I had spent some time down with the PBD podcast at the Valuetainment headquarters. And that was an amazing experience. Let me tell you, okay? It was amazing, okay? I had to come back to reality because I realized that I wasn't really royalty, even though I was treated like royalty while I was there. I'm back in the real world. Quick funny story. My family picked me up from the airport and, I get my bags. My husband gets my bags and I get to my car and I'm standing there with my little purse on my arm and I'm just standing there. And I realized, I was like, oh, snap, ain't nobody coming to open this door. My husband was like, why are you standing there? I was trying to figure out which one of y'all was going to open the door for me. And he was like, girl, bye. You home now. I was like, yeah, let me open this car door and get inside. So I was brought back to reality like really, really quickly. But I have such amazing stories to share with you guys about that experience. But we're not going to talk about that right now. We can talk about that a little later. On tonight's show, I want to unpack, why did the Democrats lose? Because let's be clear, y'all. It's not just that Trump won. Yes, he did win, but that's not it. Now that the election is over, I want to do a post-election analysis of why the Democrats lost, right? That's the talking point of the hour that I plan to talk about on today. So first, let's just do a mic check. Do I sound okay? Can everyone hear me just fine? If I sound great and everything is looking on the up and up, leave me a 1 in the chat. Just leave a 1 if you're like, girl, you sound fine. Let's get down and quit all this talking. It is hot in here. But as long as I look okay and I sound okay, we are in business. Hi, Chess Champ. Where have you been? It feels like I haven't seen you in like a month of Sundays. So good to see you in the house. Thank you for popping in to help moderate on tonight's show. So I don't see no ones in the chat. I don't know what's happening. I mean, oh, there go the ones. There are the ones. It's a delay. So let's go ahead and get started. Why did the Democrats lose? Now, y'all know that leftical struggle with accountability, right? They've always struggled with accountability and personal responsibility. And in fact, to be a good Democrat, you actually have to be well-versed in avoiding both of those, personal responsibility and accountability. That's just how it works. Why? Because when you're a Democrat, it's never your fault. No, it's never your fault. It's always something else or someone else's fault. Everyone out there in the universe, you can never look within and say, you know what, we got to eat this because we did this. No, it's always somebody else's fault, right? Whenever they don't get the results that they intended to get, they will blame everything and everyone other than placing the blame where it needs to lie, right? So what? They will spend your money, right? And then dare you to say something about how it was used, right? They'll decide for you what they think is best, ignore your concerns. And then when things get worse, which they always do, they never get better under Democratic rule, they will find a scapegoat to blame it on. Oh, it's white supremacy, right? Yes, it's white supremacy. It's capitalism. Oh, it's those darn Bible-thumping, judgmental evangelicals. It's their fault. Yes. It's the Bible, the Jesus-loving people. You know they love God and they love his word. It's them. They're the reason why we lost. So before I unpack my top 4 reasons why the Democrats lost, here's the lie that the Democrats keep repeating to themselves as well as to the American people as to why they lost. Y'all, these nut jobs actually believe that the reason why they lost is because Latinos are racist and black men are sexist and misogynistic. These are the overarching reasons that I have heard on so many different platforms. These are the reasons and the justifications that the Democrats are providing to explain why they got their behind spanked. That's the reason. The reason that the progressive left, they are running with Hispanics are just racist and them darn black men, they are misogynistic and sexist. You know they hate women. Well, let me tell you. Let me give you guys the real reasons why the Democrats lost. I have them all written down. And we're going to go through them and we're going to have a great time tonight. Yes, if I'm in rare form and I seem to be a little on the gloat fest, it's because I am. It's going to be this way for a while. So if you are like, you know what, I get it. We lost, but you don't have to rub it in. Yeah, well, I am going to rub it in because I feel good. And when you feel good, you know, sometimes you take the L. It's okay. Just take the L. But reason number 1 why the Democrats lost. And y'all, I wanna make sure that I'm looking directly into the camera for this one, right? I need y'all to see the passion in these beautiful brown eyes, right? Here goes. Can you see me? Y'all are a bunch of liars. Y'all need me to say it again? Yes, hold on. Let me get an air horn for this one. Democrats are a bunch of liars. Yeah, I said it. They have lied about so many things that I can't even cover all the lies in this video, but we're going to examine just a few, not a lot, just a few tonight. First of all, y'all, these idiots lied to us, the American people, trying to convince us that Kamala Harris was a black woman running for president. Now, no, I've been beating this dead horse. Yes, the news flash is she ain't black, right? She lied about her ethnicity, and she's been lying about it for a while, right? She was an Indian American all this time, and then bam, she's a black chick with a middle-class background that cleans greens in the bathtub while smoking weed and listening to Tupac. Who knew? Who knew all this time? And it didn't matter. It did not matter that her own autobiography indicted her and proved that she was lying. She sold us, y'all. She sold us a fake grandma, like a fake black grandma at that. And then hid her entire family lineage, and the Democrats knew this to be the case. But instead of just coming clean with the American people, these fools doubled down on the lie, and then they convinced notable black folks to buy into the lie and to push the lie, even though everybody knew that it wasn't true. Like, it's not a secret. And then when they realized that the cat was out the bag, they're like, oh, shoot, okay, we can't even run with this lie no more. All of a sudden, the language surrounding her ethnicity, it just manifested into something else and changed. Right? Like, she quickly became just a woman of color instead of the first black woman who was to become the president. Y'all, I was thinking about this today. I was praying for this show, and I was like, yeah, do y'all remember back in the day, if you wanted to, maybe this, I don't know if y'all did this in the South, but I'm from the Bronx, New York. And when I was growing up, this is something, should I be embarrassed? No, because y'all probably did it in the South too. Do y'all remember back in the day, if you were like trying to impress your friends and like make yourself appear better than you actually were, you'd say something like, I got Indian in my family. Like, do y'all remember that? When you would just be claiming that you had Indians in your family? Black folks who were, at one point, we were told that, being black was just not, it's bad, right? We started to adopt another ethnicity just so that you didn't have to identify with being an American Negro. Well, y'all, Kamala is an actual Indian. Like, she really could have played that up, right? She could have played that up. And it's not that there's anything wrong with being that. But I just thought it was funny. I thought it was funny that black folks started being like okay with her. They're like, okay, she's an Indian, but we're just gonna call her a woman of color. That's close enough. Like, Indian and black is like real related, so we're just gonna go with that one, right? They wanted her to be black so bad that they just accepted the lie, kept repeating it over and over and over again. And then I saw so many of these pro-blackity blacks try to argue you down over the lie. I think I saw like Joy Reid and what's the little girl with the big heavy weave on CNN? Not the real cute one. The other one is real rude and aggressive that sometimes sits on the left. Something Allison. I can't remember her first name. It starts with an A. But she was trying to argue people down like, yes, she is. Yes, she is. And we like, y'all, she not black, right? And then after they try to argue down over the lie, how many celebrities did we listen to lie to us to tell us that Kamala is black? I think I heard Shannon Sharp lying about it. Becky with the good hair, the little NBA player, he was lying about. I mean, it's a wonder. Now we see why Kamala's campaign is 10 or 20 million in the hole. She had a lot of people she was bankrolling to keep this lie going. Y'all, the campaign that raised allegedly like $1 billion is now like 20 million. Is it 20 million? I had sent it to you, Robert. I had sent it to you in the text. 20 million in debt. Now we see where all the money went. She had to pay all these people to keep the lie going. Just to keep the lie going. Now the rest of us, we're like, since when was she black? Right? Like how is she black with an Indian mama and a Hindu, Jewish, Jamaican father? We were like, where is the African ancestry? And to be fair, I'm not making a big deal about this because if she were black, like that would have made her a better candidate. No, to be fair, her being black is not even that significant for me. And it really shouldn't have been that significant for the rest of America. We're like so past that. The issue is that Democrats believe that they can change reality despite evidence, right? Despite the evidence like staring you like right there in your face. And if they just keep saying it long enough, they believe that everyone is just going to believe it. It really forces you to ask yourself, why would she lie? And also, why would they lie? Right? Like, why be ashamed of who you are? If you are of Indian, Irish descent, be proud of your Indian, Irish, Jewish descent, like whatever it is. Be proud of that. Do like, what was his name? The little the golf boy. What's his name? Tiger Woods. He's like, I'm cannibal Asian, right? He just, everybody gets honorable mention. I will never forget when Tiger Woods said that black folks were so mad because they're like, you black and you black. And he's like, first of all, yes, part of me is black, but that is not all that I am. I have an Asian side, I got a black side, and I got this other stuff. Like, just be proud of who you are. But the moment that you have to lie about who you are, actually, it tells us that most definitely you can't be trusted. Because whatever the reason why you're lying, you have some sort of an agenda. And if your true agenda was discovered, people would avoid you like the plague, and they should. For me, I can't trust anyone that actively tries. It's one thing that you didn't know, like Angela Davis discovered that she had like white slave owning ancestors. She discovered that. She wasn't trying to suppress it. She really didn't know. I can't trust anyone that actively tries to suppress aspects of who they are, because that means that they have something to hide, and the shareable narrative that they're trying to create is not who they really are, but is who they think we want them to be. That lets me know you're not a serious candidate, but you're probably more of a Manchurian candidate, kind of like Barack Hussein Obama. But this entire time, Kamala thought that we would get a kick out of learning that she smoked weed in college listening to Tupac. Like, I'm trying to understand how she thought of that and was like, I'm gonna put these two together and we just gonna go with it. It sounds good. Like, she thought we would love hearing about that one time in band camp when people learned that her collard greens were just so good that she had to cook so many of them to feed all these people that she had to wash them in the bathtub. Yes! Because we all know that there's no good pot of greens. No good pot of greens is worth their salt unless they are washed in the bathtub before they are cooked. That's the black way. Everybody knows that, right? Y'all, like, I'm sure she washed her collard greens in the bathtub and then cooked her neck bones over an open wood burning fire. Like, that, we believe that too. Y'all. Americans in general, they could see right through her fakeness. But do you want to know something really special that just, it just warmed my heart, something special? Black men really saw through it. Here's to y'all. 2024 is year of the black man. Because they didn't buy her BS. They didn't buy her BS because the finesse was just way too obvious. And they were not going to allow themselves. They were like, nah, you ain't about to hoodwink us. We shan't not be bamboozled by a former side piece who slept her way to the top. They're like, you ain't about to get me on that one. And for that, I want to salute the black man. Now, in addition to that, in addition to her lying about being black, she tried really, really hard to even lie, y'all, and perpetrate like she was a Christian. This one was really rich. This woman was running around talking about joy cometh in the morning, right? Just spending all this time running around with a bunch of apostate black preachers like Jamal Bryant, because she thought that if she could just pretend to be part of the black church, and I do that in air quotes because y'all know we people of God, there's no such thing. That's a construct, social construct that was created. She thought if she just, could appear to be part of the black church, that acceptance there would deliver her over the votes that she needed to cross over to the finish line. But guess what? It didn't work. It didn't work. Why? Because the pulpit pimps that she was running with, they're not respected in the black community. Jamal Bryant has no credibility with black people. I mean, some, the ones that's under his, his shepherding, but we are snatching them out the fire one soul at a time. But because she's not intimately connected to the black community, even a fraudulent pastor like Jamal Bryant couldn't finesse her campaign pockets and convince her to pay him to push her agenda forward. She did that and it still didn't even work. It did not work. Now, Kamala would have never stepped foot in a real church, right? Oh no, a real church? Nah, that wasn't gonna happen. She won't go to a real church, but she'd go to a church that would fit her agenda of what she's trying to push. That's why she was at New Birth. And then to make it worse, the apostate pastor that she was claiming to be her pastor is an LGBTQ affirming false teacher. And I'm like, the lies, the mountain of lies and deception just kept piling up. They kept piling up. But the other lie that she and the Democrats tried to sell to the American people was that Bidenomics worked, despite the fact that everybody is broke. Everybody's broke, okay? Inflation is out of control. It went out of control during the Biden-Harris administration, and it's still out of control. Like every time I go to the grocery store, I get pissed off. I despise checking out. I used to love, you can ask my husband, grocery store day was like the highlight of our family time because I have a system. Because of the way my family eats, and once the children came, I have this whole system, right? So I would go to the farmer's market for, some of my meat and my organic stuff that you can't get at the regular grocery store. Then I would hit up the Kroger to get certain things that you can't get from the farmer's market. And then back in the good old days, I used to go to Whole Paycheck, also known as Whole Foods, and I would get certain things there. And I had my stop, and I would round up all of the children, and we would go to the grocery stores, and we would stock up for the week. And I would do this every week. It was the highlight of being wifing and mothering, right? Child, now let me tell you something, okay? Every time I hear one of my kids say, Mom, when are you going to the grocery store? I want to sew their mouths shut and just tell them to go fast for 24 hours. I am so serious. Like, intermittent fasting has never been more easier for me than it is today. Like, who needs food? Like, what you eating for? What you need to eat three times a day? That's just too much. Don't nobody need to be eating that much food anyway. Just go ahead, just turn your plate down. We're going to turn our plate down, and Lord willing, tomorrow, if we see another day, it's a new day, we'll just try again tomorrow. Just tell your stomach that it is well with your soul. Like, that's how I feel when I have to go to the grocery store now, because it's ridiculous. It is 7 of us in this house. Do you know? I ain't gonna cuss, but do you know how much money I spend on groceries? Bidenomics is all I have to say. The groceries are too high. Literally, things that I was buying for this same size family, the budget don't budget like it used to. I ain't never used coupons. I was just like, oh, those are cute. Save 75 cents. Child, listen. Where is it? The little thing that comes in the mail with Kroger coupon. And that's the thing. The reason why I was never a coupon person is because we don't eat a lot of processed food. And so coupons were typically for processed food items. Listen, they now sending me coupons for my organic ground beef. I get coupons for the Simply Truth stuff. If it's Simply Truth and there's a coupon, give it to me. I want it because I needs that. My pocketbook needs it. I don't care if it's 75 cents. It's 75 cents that belongs back in my pocket. Right? But another aspect that makes the lie that Bidenomics worked and is working, what makes that so ironic, y'all, and this is specific to the church, is because so many churches, especially the black ones, they down real bad in this economy, right? Like if anybody knows that Bidenomics don't work, it was a huge hoax and a lie, is the black pulpit preacher. Like they know, if they don't know, don't nobody else know, right? Why? He knows that it doesn't work and it hadn't been working. Why? Because giving is down in his church and nothing he can say, nothing he can do has managed to increase those offerings long term. Why? We've seen Keon Henderson out here begging, Jamal Bryant out here begging, William Murphy, he stay begging, David Taylor, he is king of the begging. So many of these false teachers are out here begging and trying to come up with new scams to swindle money out of the people, and nothing they have tried has consistently worked to keep the numbers where they're used to being at. Because they're people, y'all, honestly, the people don't have it. They ain't got it. So many industries are struggling in this darn economy, right? Furniture industry, you got Badcock Furniture, out of business. American Freight Furniture, Buddy's Home Furnishings, which I thought was like a Rent-A-Center, Aaron's kind of setup, all going out of business. All of these furniture stores are closing up left and right and filing for Chapter 11. And do you know the reason that they provided for why they're closing? The economy. The economy is the reason. So now if Bidenomics was working so well, why are so many businesses going under? First, second, third, and fourth generation businesses, why are they closing? They are closing because of this trash economy. They can't borrow under these high interest rates. Their customers are not buying and closing on new homes because of these interest rates. So if new home sales are down, which is directly tied to the interest rates and the state of the economy and the labor market. If the new home sales are down, that means people are not opting to buy new furniture for their new homes because they can't even afford the new home, let alone the furniture to put in it. They can't afford it. They don't have it. They're like, we need to get food and gas and just pray the Lord makes a way out of no way, right? Now, another lie that the Democrats pushed on the American people is that the border is secure. Y'all, this lie, they've been running this lie for 3 years, even though we're looking at the caravans. We on the TV like, that look like a whole lot of people just coming through. And they keep telling us that this border is closed and it is secure. And I'm like, really? Really? Okay, so you gonna look us in the eye and tell us that the border is secure. Y'all, there's probably an illegal running across the border right now as I speak, scratching through the fence. Democrats lied about the border, and they kept lying about the border, and they kept telling us that the border was secure and that it was safe. Couldn't even get Scam Mala to go down to the border. Talk about, have you been to the border? She like, I haven't been to Europe. We like, what? We ask you if you went to the border. You talking about we know you ain't been to the border. She's like, well, I haven't been to Europe either. They kept telling us that the border was closed and secure when Jose was in your backyard camping out. Pablo just snatched your cell phone and then tried to sell it back to you. And if that wasn't just this bad, all of that crime, the fentanyl, all of the people's lives that have been lost. They lied about the border being closed and secured. We know why they did it, but here's what's really messed up. The Democrats demonstrated that resources could be distributed to illegals while our veterans and other groups of Americans, they had to sit back and suffer. These resources that you like, we ain't got it. All of a sudden, the floodgates, which they was just making it rain for the illegals. Y'all, not only that, the other issue that is so grimy, we lost track of over 300,000 minors. And this is going to lead into my next point. We lost track of over 300,000 minors, because y'all may not know this. I just learned this today. I knew we lost track of them, but I didn't know that there was a bill introduced in the state of Tennessee that the Democrats voted against, which would have effectively required DNA tests for all the illegals that were coming in that had minor children with them. They're like, okay, those your kids. Okay, fine. We'll just 90 minutes tops. We'll do a DNA test so we can prove paternity, right? Maternity and paternity. These are your kids. Fine. The Democrats, they shot that bill down. It was shot down by them nasty behind Democrats. Because they nasty. And we're going to talk about why they nasty. But before we get into why they nasty, I'm not finished with some of the other lies that I wanted to articulate for y'all. This one hit home for me because it really reflected that they will abuse and exploit anybody. Democrats kept lying about the mental state of our president and his mental capacity, Joe Biden. They lied about that. Now, y'all know I don't particularly care for Joe as the commander-in-chief, but he was still our president. And I felt some sort of kind of way because Joe Biden didn't know where he was, what time it was, or whether he was even president or not. Joe has been in a cognitive decline for a very long time. I called it when he ran the first time against Donald Trump. And when people kept raising questions about his mental state, who did we have looking at us in the camera? Kamala. She told us that I'm around Joe every single day and that he is just as sharp as he has ever been. Oh, he's just quick as a whip. She told us that. And not just that, the media told us there ain't nothing wrong with Joe. They told us wasn't nothing wrong with Joe, that he was agile and he was quick and he's as sharp as he's ever been. Nancy Pelosi lied to us. Gavin Newsom lied to us. Even the chief Negro overlord himself, Jim Clyburn, lied and said there was nothing wrong with Joe Biden. They had to bring him out to convince the black folks who got people that are cognitively impaired in their family. And we like, when when she had dementia and Alzheimer's, she was acting a little bit like Joe. And Jim Clyburn was like, Joe fine. Ain't nothing wrong with Joe. Massa is just fine. That's what Jim Clyburn said to us. Then, how many paid Democrat preachers did we listen to? How many did we have to listen to who they took to their pulpits to tell us that Joe was just fine and that all we saw was him struggling with a little speech impediment? That's what they told us. And I'm like, say what now? I'm like, do y'all remember how many of those videos we watched of all those black preachers after that first debate? They all came out. They were like, oh, heck, we got to come out and we got to protect Master because I think the cat is out the bag and they know. We got to say something. The confidence of the American people eroded right before our very eyes because Democrats are a bunch of liars who refuse to tell the truth, even if it meant exploiting and abusing an old man. That's trifling. And then this is what happened. When they ran out of drugs or whatever they was giving Joe to kind of keep him on the up and up, when that real Joe Biden showed up at that first presidential debate, they couldn't hide Joe in the basement no more. They're like, oh, snap. What, Joe? They had did all that they could. They tried to say, oh, he just got a little cold. Just a little cold. Then they was like, well, he had been traveling extensively abroad and domestically. And so he is just a little fatigued, right? He's just a little tired. Then eventually, they just had to come out and admit that Joe had to go. Joe had to go because his mind was gone. And that, to me, that was a darn shame. Why? Because I would never vote for Joe Biden, ever. But for heaven's sake, they ain't have to do Joe like that. That was just foul. They pushed him aside because just like they don't give a darn about babies in the womb, they don't give a darn about cognitively old, impaired people either, including the president. They're like, oh, he's of no use to us now. Just put him away. They're just gonna put him away. How trifling was that? That one was personal for me because I am the primary caregiver of my mother who has dementia. And our family, it has not been easy, but I can't dare, Lord willing, as much of a struggle as it is, to just be like, well, just go and throw it in a home, right? Now, there might be some days where you just like, Lord, I don't know what else to do. You let them have their dignity and you give them their respect. You don't just do people like that, Democrats. But they threw Joe under the bus so bad, they had Jill out here wearing red on election day. She like, forget all y'all. She wore red and she probably would have wore a MAGA hat. She probably really wanted to wear a MAGA hat. And to be fair, I think both her and Joe voted for Donald Trump. Why? Joe was in rare pep spirit. He was happy the day after that election. He was just like, hey, did y'all notice his disposition the day after election day? He wasn't sad. He wasn't whining. He wasn't crying. He probably like, that's what y'all punks get. Y'all gonna do me like this? Now look at you. Out here, all y'all have lost. All of y'all. And he like, I don't feel no ways about it. Right? Now, that was just reason number one why the Democrats lost. That was just reason number one. I gave you reason number one why they lost, and it's because Democrats are liars. And then what I did was I just outlined a whole lot of lies. And just some, not a lot, just a few, right? Some of the lies that they kept pushing on us. And those were, a mix of some good and some big ones and little ones, but they were still lies. But before we get to reason number two, I'm going to go ahead and get to the super chats because I can't forget my live audience out there. Joe wore a MAGA hat. I know he did. He really did at one point wore. But I'm talking about like when he went to vote, Joe probably wore a MAGA hat. But Brother Albino, he said, ain't blackface racist, Kamala? Yeah, I would argue, brother. Thank you so much for that super chat. Thank you so much for supporting this show the way that you do. I would say that blackface is a little racist. Well, we can't really say what she was doing was blackface. It was more like ethnic appropriation. But it was still disrespectful. It's disrespectful to her actual ethnicity and ancestry. Because it's like, why are you were okay with being Indian when you were siphoning money and taking money from the Indians. You were okay with identifying with them then. And then when they were done with you like, well, let me just go on to the Negroes. Because they love some Indian bundles, don't they? Yeah. I don't think it was blackface. I think it was more ethnic appropriation. That's what I would call it. But thank you, Albino, for that super chat. Y'all one's coming in hot. There you go. All right. Uncle Stu. Hey, Uncle Stu, the old man on the block. How are you? Uncle Stu says, salute, salute. supporting the stream. Uncle Stu, it's good to see you. It's been a while since I've seen you in passing on YouTube. Thank you so much for supporting the live stream tonight. I really, really appreciate it. Y'all, all of these super chats, we're going to invest in a new ventilation something in here because I'm going to need it for like the next 5 years. Thank you, Uncle Stu, for that. My brother Derek. Hey, Derek Perry, how are you? He says Bidenomics is working as intended. We broke. You know what? I love Derek because Derek always got a good clap back. And he is right. What y'all keep forgetting is that what was done to the economy, it didn't make any economic sense, which tells me that they did it on purpose because the whole goal was to make sure that everybody is broke so that eventually they are begging for the government's help, begging to look to the government as God, as savior with the solution. They can't have you function in your freedom in a free market capitalistic system. They hate that. Democrats they despise liberty. All they know is subjugation and oppression and wanting to be like somebody's overlord. They trash the economy on purpose. But Derek is right. Marsha Massey, hi, beautiful. Thank you so much for supporting the stream tonight. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Francie Hartsog, hi, love. She says, grace and peace, April. Grace and peace to you, Sister Francie. Thank you so much for the super chat and for supporting the live stream tonight. We also have Doug MPA. Doug says, I'm a black man that voted for Trump. It's the most important vote of my 44 years of life. Keep speaking the truth. Keep up the great work. Brother Doug MPA, I am right here with you. We're around the same age. And I felt the same way when I cast my vote during the early voting. Normally, I don't early vote. Normally, I just be like, I'm going to just go on Tuesday. No, I said, we got to get this one in. And I went in there with my head held up high because, according to Van Jones, my head was supposed to be low after the election because, our identity and our self-worth is tied to these votes. I'm with you in that, yes, I cast my vote. And I felt like this was the most important election ever since I've been alive. And so thank you so much for that super chat. I echo that sentiment. Brother Corey, hey, bro. Good to see you. He said misogyny, racism, sexism, feminism, killing babies, gender identity politics, sexual perversion, alphabet pride group will not win elections. Never. Oh, we're about to get there, Corey. Brother Corey I promise you, he always gets like the intel into my notes and always tends to determine the direction that the show is going to go. And that's exactly where I'm about to go next. My reason number 2, as soon as I cool off, I'm almost there. Y'all give it some time. But before I get into reason number 2, I have recently accepted a challenge. I don't know if y'all remember earlier this year when I talked to y'all about this. Listen, Linda, okay? I don't swear, but I strongly stand behind this stuff right here. So this challenge that I'm taking, I want to see how my body is going to respond when I drink one Magic Mind every single day for 7 days straight. I kind of do it intermittently. Absolutely love this stuff. Magic Mind, it is a mental alertness elixir. And when I tell you I need to be mentally alert, I have a lot going on, right? The demands on my mental state and physically, it's just a lot. It's always so many different competing moving parts. And when I first heard about this stuff, I saw that it talked about, having mental clarity and being mentally sharp and giving you energy without the crash of like coffee or energy drinks. I was like, okay, well, let me look into it. And I started researching some of the ingredients, and there's a proprietary blend of so much wholesome goodness. And so y'all may have heard me talk about this in the past, but Magic Mind is like my little secret weapon, because there's no way I can do a 3-hour live stream starting at 8:30 at night and just be up as a pup and alert and sharp. And now sometimes my words do get something, messed up a little bit, but that's because I'm old. But the Magic Mind, listen, it is only 2.8 ounces. And typically you're supposed to drink it alongside your coffee. I already had coffee earlier today, so I said I'll just drink my Magic Mind. Y'all, drinking this, I'm probably going to be up to about 4 o'clock. So the night of the election, at 6 o'clock, I took a Magic Mind, and I didn't go to sleep until about 5:30 a.m. the next day, because we were up. We were up as a pup. I could not go to sleep. I was sharp as a tack. That's what Magic Mind does for me. So I am going to start, I'm gonna drop y'all a link to where y'all can get some and try it. Whole Foods sells it. Sprouts sells it. A couple of other places sell it. I buys it by the case, because I can't be without my Magic Mind. But I just want to tell y'all about it. They actually have one for mental alertness and staying up, and then they got one to put you to sleep. I haven't really tried to put you to sleep one too much, but we'll get there. Hey, Sister Ruth. How are you? She says, love you, Sister April. Yup, we washing greens in her bathtub did work. Kamala lied. Listen, I mean, when she told that story, I really wanted to believe her. I really did. And I wanted to be like, well, some black folks do stuff different. Okay, I'm not gonna judge, but I was like, who's eating your greens now that you told us that you washed them in the bathtub? Ma'am, that's not sanitary. Like, it's the bathtub, like the bathroom. Like, why is there food in the bathroom? Now, if she says like maybe pig feet or chitlins, I'd be like, well, they nasty anyway, so they belong. That's where they belong. But greens, girl, it's not that serious. Even if you had so many greens that you ain't know what to do with, you ain't have to haul them off to the bathroom and wash them. I'm with you, Sister Ruth. She was lying. Jean Lee, how are you? Jean says, April, I'm happy about the election, but why does something not quite feel right? I don't trust our government, and you shouldn't. You should not. Thank you so much for your super chat. I am so grateful and appreciative of your generosity. Absolutely. Something might feel off. I'm not saying that, we're prophets or anything, but discernment is still needed. I knew he had the capacity to win. I just didn't think they would allow him to win. And now that he has won, stay prayed up. It seems a little like, okay, they letting them win because they got something else up their sleeve. They always got something up their sleeve. They always do. But we can't live in a state of anxiety, and we can't live in a state of being fearful. But I definitely agree. Never trust your government. Always keep one eye open, and like I said, keep Jesus in your heart and your nine on your hip, because you ain't supposed to trust them. You trust God. Right? But do not put blind trust in the government. That's how we got here. Trusting them, looking to them as our leaders versus our servants. These people are servants of ours. Don't ever forget that. They are not your leaders. The moment you start looking at them as your leaders is when you've already lost the fight. They've already subjugated you. They are your servants. And if we treated them as public servants like they are, we would not be in this situation to begin with. That's what I believe. Sorry, I missed another one. Kenny BTV. Hey, Kenny B, how are you, sir? He says, I am so glad Trump won. Woo, woo. I voted for him each time. Thank you for standing up for righteousness. Yes, I am proud to say I voted for him twice. I wish I could have made this a three-peat. 2016, I was a conservative. However, I was a recent convert to the Christian faith. I was born and raised in the church, but I was not a believer up until about 2014, 2015-ish. And at the time that Trump ran in 2016, I wasn't that deep into politics. I didn't hate him, nor did I believe any of the lies that they said about him. I just knew Trump, the businessman from New York. So I was like, this is such a gimmick. He's not serious. And I wasn't really dialed in to any of the political rhetoric or what was going on. So I was a Ted Cruz girl. I was like, yes, I love Ted Cruz. Let's go with him. And then when it came down to the general election, I think I wrote in Donald Duck. I wasn't voting for no Hillary. That did not happen. But I did not vote for Donald Trump. And I regret that. But I was very, very well pleased the entire term of his presidency, and I supported him. So by the time 2020 came around, I was all in. I was like, give me a MAGA hat. Where I sign up? That was me. So let's get into the number one reason why the Democrats lost. No, not the number one. We did number one. Let's get into the number two reason why the Democrats lost. Y'all, Democrats lost. The other reason why they lost is because the Democrats are a bunch of perverts. They a bunch of perverts. Y'all are out here, Democrats, that is, with people in their administration that are whole, burly, hard-ankled men, but they walk around in wigs and dresses. Like, men in dresses. That's normal for them now, right? Like, most people do not care what you do in private. They like, you can have a whole suite of women's clothes and hair and makeup and just do it till your heart is content. We don't care. But overtly shoving this crap in our faces and then demanding that we conform to the psychosis and the delusion, you done messed up now for real. We were like, no. Whole administration, a bunch of freaks. And then on top of the fact, let's just be real. Americans, we're not completely adverse to drag. Now, we should, but we're not. And the reason why we had RuPaul before any of this was really a thing. And didn't nobody say nothing about RuPaul. We were like, okay, that's just what he do. Like, okay, worked, it wasn't a big deal. But where they messed up is when they started coming for the kids. That's when this became a major problem. The Democrats, they came out and told us that we were bigots for being anti-pedo. Like, we were like, no, drag is one thing, but I'm not homophobic. I am not transphobic. I'm anti-pedophilia, right? And that's what I'm calling it, because the moment you start targeting and bringing the kids into your sexual perversion, that is the moment that you place yourself on the spectrum of pedophilia. And the vast majority of Americans, they are simply not down with that mess. They're like, no, that y'all done gone too far. See, there you go again, pushing the envelope when we don't want that mess. The fact is, I don't want my child to learn any of that, right? But if I voice my concern and I tell you, hey, I don't want that, I'm now considered an enemy of the state. I go to my school board and I'm like, listen, y'all got these freak nasty books in the library and I'm trying to figure out why they're in here. There's so many of us. We want our kids to have a Christian foundation and a biblical worldview, but you can't do that because they want to make a 7-year-old believe that their gender is fluid. Like, it's just, see, oh, look at this. It just moves and chasse from side to side, depending on the way the wind blows. They want your 7-year-old to believe that. Puberty, like, when you think about the maturation of the average child, when they start going through puberty is not the time, right, where you used to be able to just blossom into adulthood through all your awkwardness and work it out and figure it out. It ain't that anymore. Now puberty is the time for us to affirm that a girl is really a boy, or a boy is really a girl, or that, girls, it's okay for them to like girls. They don't have to like a boy. It could be another girl, right? Like, they have been coming for our kids during a time when kids are naturally insecure about their body. Their bodies are changing. They don't know what the heck is going on. Hormones all out of whack. Stuff is popping out and growing. Hair popping up all over the place. Like, it's just weird. If you went through puberty, you'd be like, this is messed up. Didn't nobody tell me it was going to be like this. Just like menopause. They don't warn you. But no, these perverts, they want to exploit and take advantage of that and put your kids on hormones and then want to threaten you by telling you, oh, would you rather have a dead kid or an alive trans kid? I'm like, wait a minute, how's that the binary choice? How we get from dead kid to trans kid? Those are my only options? The Democrats are trying, they're not just trying to come and destroy your kids, they're trying to destroy men. They're trying to destroy men, and how women are concerned about their sons unable to grow up to be men because of all of this effeminate influence of all this other crazy, psychotic, perverted stuff. So many moms, they see how this society is weakening men and how this society, it is designed and set up to destroy their sons. And they can see that Dems are training children to be this way. It's gaslighting of the worst kind. And people could see how all of this social engineering, it's looking and staring us right in the face. Why? Look at all the crap that's coming out of Disney and Nickelodeon. And you tell me that's not happening? And then look in the Black community. Why is it that so many of our men are outfitted in dresses all the daggone time? Why every time we turn on the TV, we gotta see our men prancing around like they're in a It's Raining Men music video? Our men, the Democrats, they're getting so much money from all of these sick and perverted weirdos that they're just pushing these agendas, giving no thought to how it's going to impact the broader society, and then they expect you to accept it. And then, y'all know I always got to bring it back home to the theological implications, but they make matters worse because Kamala, she got so-called churches out here affirming LGBT and abortion. Right? Had church, the Church of Jesus Christ doesn't affirm that crap. But some reason, the ethnic expression of the Black church, which has never affirmed this foolishness, now all of a sudden you got Jamal Bryant out here and O.C. Allen and William Murphy and the rest of these apostate pimps. They come around and now all of a sudden, oh, we blessing same-sex couples and they babies. That's what we're out here doing. They started affirming this mess once the DNC started paying them to say it. We literally started watching the Iron Triangle being played out in real time. Apostate preachers, apostate, sexually perverse politicians, and these whack civil rights workers all working in tandem together. Ask why so many of the members of the Congressional Black Caucus are also members of the Equality Caucus. Because they all on the same team, working to actively push perversion and perverted agendas, push it on your kids, and then they're surprised why they lost. This is why they lost. But here was the bright side that encouraged me and gave me so much hope. Y'all, we had some soldiers in the army of the Lord who stood firm. Oh yes, they stood firm despite the slings, despite the arrows, despite the visits from the IRS. Oh, they spoke up and they told the truth. You had men like Bishop Patrick Wooden and Alton Williams in Memphis. These are the men who perked up our ears to make Black folks realize that this crap was wrong. They stood on the truth of Scripture and they were like, you ain't gonna like it, but thus saith the Lord, this is wicked. We can't be part of this. Those men, those were your modern day Martin Luthers, who stood up and said, y'all Negroes have gone too darn far, and they effectively nailed their own version of the 95 Thesis on the door of the church. It was like, enough is enough. Shut this mess down. We ain't going for this. No. The Democrats, along with their candidate Kamala, also perverted because they thought it would be a good idea. I don't know who in the campaign was like, yes, girl, you should do this. They thought it was a good idea for her to choose Meg the Stallion and Offset to address her supporters at a campaign rally. That's how she lost Georgia, y'all. I'm telling you, that was it. Meg the daggone Stallion, an oversized, sexually explicit and perverse female rapper. She thought that all black people, we would just love that. And we'd be like, yes, queen, get it, sis. No. Democrats, they always dry snitch and tell you how they really feel about you with their actions, way more than their words. They don't have to say it. All they got to do is sell you whoredom and thuggery, mud culture. She's selected in a ratchetang and menacing and unruly and thuggish culture. That's who Imhoff told her, this is what they like. This is who they are. Yes, go on, baby, do that. Just think Lizzo and Glorilla. Just taxing behind everywhere. Like she didn't know. She did not know us, nor did she care to know us. She gave a caricature of what she thought they could pass off to us as if we were supposed to be like, yes, let's take our daughters to your rally. Even if I was a Democrat, I'd be like, I can't take my daughters here. Like, are you kidding me right now? Like, why didn't she just pull up to Magic City and just let the cameras go inside and then she take their stage? Because that wouldn't have been no much different than what she did with Meg Thee Stallion and Offset. Just go inside the strip club, Kamala, let them hand you a mic, and you make it do what it do. And the strippers already, they come with the establishment. That's another reason why they lost, because they nasty and they perverted. Just nasty and perverted. All of the perversion that Corey was talking about. Where did it go? Let me get back to that chat. Corey said the misogyny, racism, sexism, feminism, killing babies, gender identity politics, sexual perversion, all the alphabet pride. I don't know why they think that focusing on all of these subsets, all of these categories is going to help them win elections. Do they just think, America we down bad. We are pretty messed up. But as a country, these are not the things that we want to be known for. And you would think Democrats would have sense enough to be like, you know what, we got to do something different. But no, they can't. They can't. But that was reason number 2 why the Democrats lost, because they nasty. Nasty and perverted. Just a bunch of perverts pushing this crap on us, and Americans got sick and tired of it. They like, listen, I may be a pervert at home, but this is too much. We don't need to be in the out with this. Do what you do at home. Everybody don't need to know, and don't bring the children into this. This is inappropriate. There used to be a point in time in this country where there were just these self-evident truths, like stuff you didn't have to explain because everybody knew, like, oh, that's improper. Like, oh, no, don't do that. Nah, Democrats, they just bypass the self-evident truths, and they're just like, no. We should do this. This is good. And yes, America will buy into it. We just keep telling them over and over again that it's good, and eventually they'll come around. No. We were like, we ain't gonna be able to do it. We're not gonna be able to do it. But let's move on. Let's move on to number 3. The number 3 reason why the Democrats lost. Y'all, they sent the Democrat overlords to lecture black men such as the girly man Kirk Franklin, Barack Obama, and none other than Jamal Bryant. They always using him. Y'all know how it is. But black American men, believe it or not, are overwhelmingly more conservative than black women. That's just a fact. And actually, I'm quite thankful to God for that. I'm glad that that's the case, because we need y'all, black men. We need y'all. Don't grow weary in well-doing, my guys. Y'all continue to hold the line. And in fact, I need y'all to get more bold and more brave than ever before. I'm talking like bold as a lion bold. You can see that black men are more conservative than black women simply by examining the divide between black men and black women today and our lack of marriages between one another. When you examine that split right there, it tells you a lot, because black women are overwhelmingly liberal, feminists, y'all ain't gonna like this part, rebellious, selfish, independent-minded, won't cooperate with their own men. And if Democrats knew and understood, if they knew and understood black people, they would know that sending overlords and house Negroes to talk down to the men and to lecture the men, they should have known that that was going to backfire. But they didn't, because Democrats do what Democrats always do. They believe they oppress, they subjugate, they castigate, they put a behavioral noose around your neck and demand that you conform. And it doesn't matter if they're like, you know what, but how will this play out in real life? They don't care. They're like, we got to try it. We won't know until we try it. So let's try that one. And they tried that one and it backfired. It backfired beautifully. And I, as a so-called strong black woman, I just want to send a message to let not just Democrats know, but people who think that black men are intimidated by black women and that, black men don't listen to black women. I want to stand here as a highly melanated person, black woman, and just let y'all know that I don't have a problem getting black men to listen to me. Like being ignored and not being heard, I don't have a problem being heard. I don't have a problem being heard or seen or understood by black men. That is, no, and I don't have them kinds of problems. Like, y'all, I'm married to a black man. I am raising alongside my husband 2 black boys. I have black brothers, black male mentors, black professional colleagues who, when I speak, they perk up. They cling to what I have to say. And it doesn't mean that they're going to hearken to everything that I say. But it does mean that at the end of the day, I get a seat at the table. I ain't never had no problem getting a seat at the table. I've never felt oppressed because of my gender, and that because of my gender that they just won't let me in. No, they want to hear my opinion. Black ones and the white ones, believe it or not. But I don't have to lecture them, emasculate them, or talk down to them to get those kinds of results. Oh, let me tell you, boo-boo. Ladies, y'all better listen. The power of your femininity lies in your ability to simply make your request known, right? But you got to do it the right way. I'm trying to learn you today. Yes, I didn't say teach. Learn. You got to learn. You got to learn the lesson. When you walk in thinking that you're running something, thinking like you like Stacey Abrams, making your demands like you somebody's mama. Yeah, okay. You walk in there like that, like you own them. Yeah, they're going to reject you each and every time. They're going to look at you like you crazy. They're not going to respond. They're not going to listen. So I don't have those kinds of problems. Maybe they should take notes. Maybe all of the strong conservative women that they claim be around Donald Trump, call them stupid and not smart. Maybe you should learn a thing or two from some of those women, because there's a whole lot of women around Donald Trump that have major influence. It's just they know how to do it the right way. So I hope the Democrats continue to listen to Al Sharpton, right? And the rest of the black boule class that believe that Kamala lost because she was a woman, or because she was a woman of color. You know, we have to say that now because they stopped saying that she was black. You know, we'll go with that. I want them to believe that. I want them to continue to parrot those foolish talking points. Because as long as the Democrats keep believing that, they will continue to lose. And that's exactly what I want. I'm loving it. I love every moment that they continue to talk and sound stupid. I'll be like, yes, keep going, please. Please keep it going. Democrats don't know America because by and large, Democrats hate America. They may not say, I hate America. I don't have to listen to what you say. I pay attention to what it is that you do. The people who have been speaking on behalf of Americans these past 4 years, those are not the people that we aspire to be. Yes, there are people out there who might want to be a Beyonce, or who may want to glorify whoredom, and who may want to push sexual perversion, but that's not America. That's not America. As flawed as Trump is, his win wasn't even about him. And they refused to deal with that fact. It wasn't him. It wasn't him. It's who they became. And the American people were tired of it. They're like, no, we sick of y'all. They turned completely against the laws of Christ and what people who even are unbelievers can objectively agree as good. They just turn everything upside down on its head. This is why they're a bunch of perverts and liars, psychopaths. And as the big homie said, the anti-Christian bigots. That's them. That's who they are. And all they do, they meditate on blood. All they do, like Romans 1 says, inventors of evil, new ways to just be wicked. These jokers have ushered in pedophilia, y'all, because now, let me tell you what they've done. These jokers have redefined what it means to be a pedo, right? They changed this definition of pedophilia. Now, pedophilia is a sexual orientation. It's not a mental disorder anymore. So as long as it's a sexual orientation, you can't discriminate against it. You can't say anything against it because it's like, well, if it's a sexual orientation, then that's not something that they can help. It's how they're oriented. So now we can add pedophilia to the basket of perversion. And now you can't say anything against that because now that's a sexual orientation. It's not a mental disorder no more. I told you, these people are sick. Who would think to do such a thing? Democrats. Democrats would think to do such a thing. And yes, I'm coming with lots of vitriol tonight because ain't nobody else pushing this nastiness but them. That's why I keep saying they're nasty. You don't have to like it, and you could be like, well, I take personal offense to you grouping, all the Democrats in one bucket saying we nasty. Then stop identifying with them. Become an independent. But no, you want to ride or die with the ship. You want to sink down with the ship, and then you're mad when I call you nasty and a perverted psychopath. Well, what you doing over there hanging with the nasty, perverted psychopaths? Huh? You ain't got sense enough to know that enough is enough? This is why they keep losing, and they're going to continue to lose. And I already told y'all, my goal is to siphon bit by bit 25% or more of the Democratic vote from every major Democratic stronghold in this nation. I'm just one person, but it's a whole army of us out here, and we ain't scared. And I know I'm not doing it by myself. Each one of us chipping away bit by bit. I told y'all, after this election, depending on the outcome, Trump won. And listen, I'm going to let the RNC, y'all, go on, take a bow. Come on. Matter of fact, let me go and get y'all some applause. Here we go. All right, I'm going to give the RNC a little applause. But what I will not do is allow the RNC to sit back and think that they had so much of a heavy influence in siphoning the black vote or Democrat vote in general from the Democrat Party. That was the work of so many independent podcasters and influencers who love this darn country, who said, you ain't got to pay me a dime. I will turn on this microphone and I will expose the nasty, perverted, wicked liars that these people are, if it's the last thing I do. We were waking up every day cranking out this content because it matters, because our why is so much more bigger. None of us desire, at least I speak for myself, I don't desire a place in politics. I'm not running for office. We did this purely for the love of the game, because we were like, these people are wicked and nasty. And somebody has to point it out and say it. And they continue to keep lying and telling people that it was racism and it was misogyny and they hate women. That's why we lost. Nah, pimping, that ain't why you lost. I just broke down to you why y'all lost. And we about to get into reason number 4. Reason number 4, why the Democrats lost. Y'all having fun tonight? Because I know I am. I'm having so much fun that I'm on what? This hot flash number 3. Where we at? I'm going to start counting them. Hot flash number 3. That's all right. By now, normally I would have had at least 6 or 7. What time is it? Okay. We doing good. We doing good on time. Reason number 4 that the Democrats lost is because they were weak on solutions. And they thought that celebrities would help us to ignore our bank balances and the cost of living for everyday Americans. They thought that that was going to do it. They were like, let's just give them a smoke screen, right? They know they broke, but, just give them joy, right? Give us some joy and something to take our minds off of being broke and not being able to go out to eat like we used to. Can't go on a vacation like we used to. Can't go shop and buy a new purse like you can't do nothing, right? Giving's down, being philanthropic. Everybody got the hand out and you're like, sis, I really ain't got it. I really don't have it. Real people out here in the real world don't care about celebrities like that. We don't. Now, that may have been true before the advent of the internet, when all we had was TV and we could just look and be like, oh my goodness, look at them at the Oscars. Oh my goodness, look at them at the Grammys. Now, the advent of social media, these celebrities are more accessible and are more connected to their audiences than they've ever been. Don't nobody care like that. We just like, okay, so she was just on IG Live picking her feet. We don't care. People now have more options available to them to get to the truth, and they don't rely on just one source to get information. That's just where we are now. So while Democrats kept parading celebrities in our face, real everyday thinking people, we became more distrustful of what they had to say, coupled with the fact that the media just kept lying to us in our face every single day. They're like, okay, so you keep putting this celebrity in front of me. This celebrity we already know got a boatload of money. So how is it that all of the celebrities are speaking for the common man? The everyday average American, celebrities are speaking for them. Notice how Kamala never just brought up regular people in everyday America to talk about how their administration just improved their lives. We never heard those stories. Where were those people? You go to a Trump rally, it's all kinds of Americans saying, thank you, President Trump. When you was in office, this is what you had did for me and my family, and I was just so grateful for you. Like, that happened. That actually happened. Where were those people for Kamala's side? No, we didn't get those. We got celebrities. It's easy for us to say that because Kamala lost, it's because she didn't have like this viable plan for turning the economy around. Like, it's easy to say that. But the truth is, communists can't turn the economy around because that's not their goal. That's not their goal. I think it was Derek that said it. The goal of communism is to have everyone subject to the government. And it's where the government controls the means of production of everything. You own nothing and you'll be happy. They will seize your property and then you'll be like, well, I'm so glad I ain't got to deal with that burden no more. I'ma just pay this little rent over here and we all just gonna live the same. They kill your dreams and aspirations for you to do and be more. The government will give you free everything, but in return, you give up your liberty. You give up your liberty and you just adapt to things just being bad. And that's sadly what I saw black women doing. Black women were adapting to things being bad and wanted to vote for the communists because she was black and because she was female and because they're like, well, at least we'll get to still kill our babies, even though they technically right now can still kill their babies, and nothing Kamala would have been able to do getting in office would have helped them kill their babies even more. But that's what's sad to me about the black female. They adapted to things being bad so much so that you actually had black women, when you asked them, why are you voting for her? They couldn't tell you nothing other than it's time for a black woman to be in that office. Huh? You like this how you live your life? So that's how you pick a doctor? You want a black female doctor because it's time that they work on you? You know, but I need open heart surgery and I ain't never had a black woman do it. So let me just go find a black female to do my open heart surgery because it's time. They ain't never worked on me before. Like, is this how you live your life? No. But these silly women voted for Kamala for those reasons, and they were proud of their ignorance. I can't tell you how many panels I watch with Anton Daniels and all them other little hippity hop kids. I'm calling them kids. I'm sorry, it's because I'm old. They look young to me. And I'm listening to some of the black women on these panels sounding just as ignorant as they want to be. All they could talk about is murdering babies, police immunity without understanding what that really meant. Murdering babies, and she's a female and she's black and we deserve to see that, so therefore let's vote for her. I was like, oh Lord, this K-12 system is bad. Because I'm like, how do you grow up to be a whole adult and this is the way your mind thinks? That's how your mind thinks. I'm like, you pick your dentist that way too? And maybe this is why a lot of these chicks are probably succumbing to the complications of these darn BBLs, because that's how they pick their plastic surgeon too. Well, she was black and she was female. Like, she looked just like me, so I want her to do my BBL. Mm-hmm. Yes, I'm making fun of you. And I hope I'm doing a good job. Anyway, listen, y'all. Marxism and communism, I've said it before, it is atheism. It's atheism. They need you to disavow God so that the government can be your God. They need you to be fearful and afraid and just downright ignorant so it can show just how powerful they are and how weak you are as an individual. They don't want you to be a strong, powerful, independent, free-thinking citizen of this nation. No, they want you weak and dependent and just utterly afraid. And I'm gonna tell y'all a quick little story. I was talking to a friend today, and I didn't have time to pull the receipts on this, and y'all may have heard about it. But there are these random, anonymous text messages that have been going out to random black people, telling them that they have been selected to go and pick cotton on a plantation, and that someone is coming to their home to pick them up. And y'all, they actually found some Negroes who were willing to show their face on camera and talk about and admit out loud how afraid they were about this. And I said, first of all, where are the plantations? Where are these plantations? And second of all, I'm like, if you think that some crazy, deranged white folks are going to show up in this cul-de-sac, talk about, I'm here to round you up to make you go pick cotton. I'm trying to figure out why is nobody standing outside with their AR-15 talk about make me. I wish a ninja would. Oh, please text me. Please text me. I will leave my phone number in the description box. I want to get the cotton picking text message. Oh, please. And I want you to show up. Tell me what time you are coming. Please do. Tell me what time you are coming, because you will surely come, and you be coming to meet your maker. Now with all these ARs up in this house. I'm trying to understand why black folks were, one, believing it, and two, actually afraid. I'm telling you, CNN and all those other news outlets, they ran that story and they found them some literal cotton picking Negroes to show their face and admit they were afraid, because that is the motif. That is the archetype of the black person that they want you to believe that all of us are. We're just weak and afraid and feeble and trying to figure out why they always after us. We didn't do nothing. And now we got to go back and pick cotton. I want to know the genius behind the text messages, because they probably sitting back cracking up laughing. I'm trying to figure out. Fat people took it serious, and two, you're actually afraid, as opposed to saying, this is what the Second Amendment is for. Well, would you look at that? We actually get to function in our freedom. We actually get to function. I've been waiting to practice with this AR. That would have been the perfect opportunity. Come to the house to try to come and get me and see what would happen to you. I don't understand it. I don't understand it. But that story, that and the other messages that allegedly black women were getting, saying that they needed to be careful because white people were coming to grape and assault them. I was like, Lord have mercy. How did we get here? I'm inclined to believe that we got here because of the absence of the masculine male presence in our community. Because let a text hit come like that to my phone, and I'd be like, babe, take a look at this. And hand on the phone, he'd be like, oh, really? Okay, we'll see about that. But an uncovered woman out here in the world all by herself would see something like that, and because she doesn't have the logic of an actual man in close proximity to her, she'll believe that. Who's believing that? You really think? You really thought that was one? I find it funny that they can figure out the origin of everything else, where a text message come from, who sent it, what server, what cell phone tower it bounced off to, but now nobody knows where those text messages come from. You want us to really believe that? When you got satellites in the darn space up in the air that can probably count how many nose hairs I have left today, you want me to believe that you don't know who sent those text messages? I'm telling y'all who sent them text messages. Democrats sent them darn text messages. This is a part of their scheme. They always fearmonger, exploit, intimidate, subjugate. Listen, they are the new school of the old school Jim Crow Democrat is the Jerome Crow Negro. I I wouldn't be surprised if they paid some Jerome Crow Negroes to send those text messages, or if they like, you know what, we'll do it our darn selves. Because we've been paying you Jerome Crow Negroes and we done lost the election. You ain't doing your job. We done paid your Jerome Crow black preacher. He didn't deliver for us. Al Sharpton didn't deliver for us. We got an Iron Triangle, a black politician. They can't deliver for us. Y'all blacks are useless. So we kind of glad that the border was open and we let the illegals in. But what they did realize is that them illegals ain't voting for them either. These illegals ain't stupid. They like, oh, you gonna let us come in? Oh, we'll come in, but we don't live like y'all. We keep our babies. We are fruitful and we multiply a lot. And 12 of us will live in an apartment until we get our money up, and then we'll go buy a house. Yeah, So they'll have babies. They may work your little menial low-pay job right now until they own the whole landscaping or construction company. And then they won't vote for you because they're like, yeah, they not like us. We just over here to take advantage of the American way. We love America. Trump 2024. That's what Jose and Pablo and Maria and Consuela, that's what all of them are doing. They not voting. 50% of Hispanics voted for Trump. That's a huge percentage. Huge percentage. So I'm just saying, them text messages, I believe Democrats are behind those text messages, but I'm more sad that there were actual people that bought into that foolishness and were afraid. You ain't got no gun on you. Like, you really just, you gonna let somebody round you up and put you in the back of a truck. So you're not gonna try to jump off the truck. You're not gonna shoot them in the head. You're not gonna fight, punch them in the throat, like nothing. You just gonna let you and your kids be tied up, hog-tied, put in the back of the truck to go work on a plantation. And let me guess, you couldn't leave, right? So let's say they get you there. They take you out the truck and say, all right, now let me teach you how to pick this cotton. Even though no one picks cotton by hand anymore, they have machines for that. But these people was like, they gonna put us back on the plantation, have us in the hot sun picking cotton. You got to be some kind of special. Oh, help you. Y'all, that's the person you got to stretch out your hands for and pray. You need to lay them, matter of fact, tie them to the altar like Isaac. Like Abraham had to do, I just tie them to the altar because they don't need to get up. They need much prayer. Much prayer. You need help if you believe that. That and the one that they was going to be assaulting black women. Like, please. All that mouth black women got, they would have tied you up and got ready to and would have let you go. They'd be like, this chick talk too much. Take her back wherever you got her from. All that attitude, I can't eat. Ain't nobody assaulting y'all. In mass? Child, please. Whatever. First of all, see, I was about to say, so I was going to say half of them way more than the man anyway. Let me quit. I just lost 10 subs over that one. It's okay. Y'all pray for me because I'm black and slow. I'm just ignorant. Anyway, there actually is an exhortation in all this. It is. There's an exhortation in this, and I'm going to get to it. I promise you I am. Y'all go ahead and like this video. Share it with your tribe. Hopefully I said something useful today before I let you go. And don't forget to follow me on Facebook, Instagram, the X. I call it Twitter still, but I have a goal. We just crossed over about 76,000 subscribers. My goal by the end of the year is to hit 100,000 subs. And I think we're close and I think we can do it. Now, if we don't do it by the end of the year, we're not gonna cry over it. We're just gonna keep on pushing. But the growth of this channel has been exponential. And it's all because of viewers like you guys. Y'all show up for me every single week. And I'm so grateful for that. I've met so many of y'all in the airport, in the restaurant, just out and about at the Costco. I see you guys and some of y'all don't know my name. It's April Chapman. So y'all come up to me and be like, hey, don't I know you? You on the YouTube. What's your name again? I'll be like, April Chapman. They be like, that's right, April Chapman. I'll be like, hey. Hi. I love when I meet y'all out and about. I really do. Some of y'all want to take selfies, some of y'all don't. But on the way to Fort Lauderdale and then on the way back from Fort Lauderdale and while in Fort Lauderdale, I met so many of y'all, and it was just a joy and a pleasure to hug your neck and talk to you. I shared in a hot flash with one person. She just discovered me about a month ago, and I was coming out of the security checkpoint, and she was like, can I get a picture? I was like, as soon as I cool down, you sure can, girl. We just stood there cooling off, and then once the heat subsided, I was like, okay, now we can get close. Cause I was like, you can't be all up on me doing a hot flash. I need boundaries. I need my boundaries. But once I cooled off, we took it. Matter of fact, let me see. It's in my phone. I was gonna put it up, but I'd have to upload it first. But it was just beautiful to meet y'all. But there is an exhortation. There's an exhortation in all of this. Here's what I want y'all to know. I want you guys to know and keep in mind that just because Trump won and the Democrats lost does not mean that everything's just gonna be gravy. Yes, do I believe he's gonna accomplish some amazing things and get some things done? Yes. But for the believer, we are to be thankful for this reprieve, but we must know that evil is ever present before us. Like, it's not going anywhere, right? We have to continue to be salt and light on a shining hill, represent the gospel, proclaim the gospel, live out the gospel, shine light in dark places. We have to continue to raise our children in the fear and admonition of the Lord, protect our children from these nasty perverts, right? We have to actively work to keep our families together, come what may, because guess what? They're not going to stop. They're too stupid to realize that everything that I just talked about on this entire video is the reason why they lost. It's the reason why they lost. They're going to continue to beat their heads against the wall, pushing more lies, pushing more perversion, pushing more evil and wickedness. And who knows if they will ever tire? I mean, did Satan get tired? Has he rested any? No. So as long as these people are dead in sin and of their father, the devil, they're going to continue to do more of the same. But what does that mean for you? It means that even during heavy Christian persecution, we honor Christ as Lord in our hearts first. And we should always be ready to give a reasoned defense for the hope that's within us. And yes, do it with gentleness and respect. I make the content that I make full of satire and sarcasm. One, because a lot of us, we learn through the entertainment value of it all. But more importantly, I get a lot of joy from the sarcasm and the satire. I mean, I just really do. And but more than that, this channel, the whole goal of this channel is to create content that's going to be transformative. And in the process of that transformation, it might hurt and sting a little bit. Like when someone is ripping you out of a burning fire, a building that's on fire, yes, it's some heat. It might be some embers that fall on your head. You might get a couple of scrapes, a couple of bruises, but when you get out on the outside, you're like, thank you, Jesus. Thank you for yanking me out of that burning building. You're like, these scars will heal. I'm limping, but I'm gonna be okay, but I'm not in there anymore. That's how I feel about my content. Yes, it hurts. Sometimes it's a little sharp and you be like, ooh, that hurt my feelings. And you're like, it's gonna be all right though. You out the fire. You are out the fire now. Go run and function in your freedom. Don't have this yoke of bondage, these behavioral nooses around your neck any longer. You are free. And you ain't free because the government said you free. You are free because if you are in Christ, those who the Son has set free is free indeed. So that was my exhortation. Yes, Trump won and the Democrats lost. But these nasty, psychopathic liars and anti-Christian bigots, they ain't gonna stop. You just have to know how to deal with them. The scriptures admonish us we tear down strongholds and imaginations and every lofty thing that raises itself against the knowledge of God. All of those policies are wicked strongholds that raises itself against the knowledge of God. God says A, they're like, no, it's B. So what do? We tear it down. And we tear it down by proclaiming what is true. Those self-evident truths, things that even the unbeliever knows is God's law written on his heart. They know it's true. God has written out his law on our hearts. Our conscience bears witness to these truths. Never back down and abdicate the truth that you know is objectively true to side with the enemy and to agree with the lie. Don't do it. Listen, if I have to give my life, I will give my life dying on the hill based on truth. Why? Because heaven is my home. That is my heavenly hope. I want to hear, well done, thy good and faithful servant. Ain't nothing down here that y'all can offer me that's going to be better than eternity. So if to live is Christ and to die is gain, let's do it. Let's go. Let's go. I'm willing to go. I will go up yonder in a heartbeat. But while I'm here, while there's still work yet to do, I'm going to be following the way of the master. And it doesn't include side with them nasty, perverted. Oh, they nasty. How you put nasty stuff on in Disney and Nickelodeon is beyond me, but they nasty. You ain't about to catch me out there slipping. No, sir. No, sirree. But anyway, that's all I got for y'all tonight. I'm going to get to these super chats, spend a little time with y'all, then we are going to wrap it up. We're going to wrap it up. Let's see, who did I miss? My friend Chow. Hey, Chow. Chow says, trust in the Lord with all of your heart and lean not on your own understanding in all your ways. Submit to him and he will make your paths straight. That is Proverbs 3, 5, and 6. Absolutely. We don't put our trust in princes. We trust in the Lord with all of our hearts. And there may be times when we want to lean to our own understanding because we believe that we know best and we believe that we know what's right. No. The heart is deceitful and desperately wicked. Above all things it is. Who can know it? Don't trust your heart. You trust in the Lord. Submit all your ways to him. He will make your paths straight. Thank you, Brother Chow, for that. So grateful for that. We have the Cottage Rose. Hi. The Cottage Rose says, thank you, April, for speaking the truth from Arizona. Wonderful. Thank you so much for supporting tonight's live stream. I will be in Arizona next month. Yes, super excited about that. I'll be at the America Fest in Phoenix, the 18th through the 22nd. I'm super excited about that. So maybe you can stop by. The Standard of Truth podcast will be there on the ground, reporting, doing some amazing things at AmeriFest or America Fest. That is next month. So shout out to you from Arizona. Not sure what part you're in, but I'll be in Phoenix. And then we have Sonia Lozada Rivera. Yes, thank you so much for that super chat, Sister Sonia. What a generous gift you have bestowed upon me tonight. Sister Sonia has no comment. She like, I ain't got nothing to say, girl. Just take it. Thank you. I'm so grateful for that. I really appreciate it. This is a labor of love for me. The time that it takes away from my family, the mental strain to put together a show like this, it is a lot. But I cannot imagine myself doing anything different. It is so weird. We've been doing this, 2 years? 2 years. It'll be 3 years, January 1 of 2025. And every time I do a live show, it's almost like I'm sitting back like, I can't believe I'm doing this. I can't believe I'm doing this. And I'm having so much fun. Y'all are just amazing. I know, like, I'm looking at a camera and I can't see y'all. But I feel like all of y'all are out there. Like, we're just sitting on a couch, having a chit chat, sipping some Magic Mind, and just laying it all out. It is amazing. So thank you, Sister Sonia, for your support. I'm so grateful for that super chat. Then we have Anthony Lee. Hi, Anthony. Anthony says, thank you for all you do. Salute to you, Anthony. To God be the glory. God bless you. And thank you for tuning in and watching and listening. The more you guys engage, the more you guys like the video, the more you guys share it with your tribe, that lets YouTube know that whoever this little black girl is on this corner of the internet, we need to push her stuff out to more people. And so you guys, when you continue to show up like this, it actually helps the growth of the channel, and YouTube starts to recommend it to more people, despite the fact that I know that some of the stuff I say, everybody don't like it. I get that. It's not for everybody. But my tribe is my tribe. And if you're in my tribe and you riding with me, we riding. Not like riding with Biden, but just riding. And then for those who are not, that's okay too. You're still welcome here as well. Chris Creative, so good to see you. Chris says, not sure if you saw, but every working American lost an average father of $35,000 to inflation the last 3.5 years. Imagine $35,000 sitting on your desk. Let me tell you something. I believe that. I believe that because when you try to do the math and you start estimating how much you were spending and you take in consideration if you were renting, the increase of rent, the increase on insurance is sick. The increase on property taxes, the increase on groceries, shipping. Yo, I used to could ship a t-shirt for like $7 something. It's almost $9. It's like ridiculous just to ship something. When you add it all up, about $35,000 to inflation, you ain't lying. You are not lying, Brother Chris. It's bananas. And I'm really mad that you put the number and made the math relative to me because now I'm upset. I ain't even want to think about that foolishness. But thank you anyway. And thank you for your super chat. Chow is back. Chow says, let us not become weary in well-doing, for at the proper time, we will reap a harvest if we do not give up. Galatians 6:9. Let me tell y'all something. Chow is our resident theologian. He is our resident scribe. He always comes with the perfect scripture to exhort us, to remind us and reorient our thinking that we need, what we really need to be thinking about. Like, Chow keeps me grounded because just when I be starting to get a little far off, he brings a scripture and I be like, you know what, you right, Chow. You right. Let me submit myself to that. But that text is very encouraging, and it should be an encouragement to all of you guys, because many of us this year, we were getting real weary with the Biden administration. And y'all, to be fair, they still in office. They're still in office. Like, we don't really know who's running the country, but they're still in office. And the propensity to get weary, I've had to encourage so many of my friends who were like, I don't know, this election is freaking me out. I don't know. That scripture would come to mind. Don't grow weary in well-doing. Spend time, focus on your family, take care of your family, keep your eye on these local elections, because that's where politics really is. These local elections, with all these crooks stealing your money, especially, listen, in my county, I'm gonna have to do a whole video on that. It's been out of control how they have siphoned money from the people. But that scripture says, when you bring that scripture to mind, it should be such an encouragement and a blessing to your soul. Thank you, Chow. The kosher clinician. Hey, kosher clinician. That is a tongue tire. Kosher clinician. I try really hard to say that one. Please check your email. Perhaps soon in the future. Would love to have a show about 9% of black women, that voted faith in Trump whenever possible. Okay, check my email, kosher clinician. If I don't check it, I will have Keisha check it and see if we could possibly coordinate something. Life is crazy. The emails piled up this week, certainly, because I was gone. I mean, I had access to them, but I could not dedicate measurable attention to them. I could not. But I will definitely do that. Thank you so much for the $7.77 super chat. You rock. What a cool super chat to leave. Thank you. I will be sure to do that. Hey, Tammy Griffin Scott. Hi, beautiful. How are you? She said, Mrs. April, keep up the good fight of faith in Christ. Love you, sis. I love you too, girl. I really appreciate all the support that you've shown me, how you show up for me every single week, and just one little word of encouragement. It always means so much to me because, like I said, y'all, YouTube can get you down in the pits if you let it. It is a rat race. It is they say it's a marathon, but some days it feels like a sprint. It's a little bit of both. But you guys make it all worth it. You guys really do make it all worth it. Child got another one. Let's see. This is the word of God. Child says, have nothing to do with the fruitless deeds of darkness. But what we supposed to do? But rather expose them. It is shameful even to mention what the disobedient do in secret. Ephesians 5:11-12. I told y'all they perverts. They nasty. And to think there are black Christians who have reconciled somehow. Well, I mean, what I do in my private life and how I vote politically, they don't have to align. And I'm like, do you even Bible, homie? Like, when the last time you picked it up? Like, dust that bad boy off and flip them pages and get that word down in your spirit, because something is off. Something is off. It is shameful even to mention what the disobedient do in secret. Here you are, like, cheering on what they're doing by saying, yes, give us more of that. Give us more of that. No. Brother Derek says, I wish someone would. Oh, he got to wish a Negro would. I heard it in your voice there. He said, I wish they would. 2A is deep in this house. I am a pastor. I will introduce you to Christ one way or another. Listen, you about to meet your maker today. You roll up in here and talk about you about to round up some black folks and put them on the back of the truck so they can go pick some cotton. I'm like, oh, really? Oh, okay. I'm like, why don't you make an appointment? Make an appointment. Like, tell me what time you come and give me your email and your phone number. Oh, and I'm like, give me an emergency contact because I'm going to need to call them once I'm through with you so they can come get you. Right? And we'll have the coroner on standby. I know that's right, Derek. I ain't playing with these people. You can't. Like, who would allow that to happen? And then who's crazy enough to go on the news and be like, just when you think America has changed, it's the same America that it was 100 years ago. I'm like, wait a minute. I actually heard them say that. She said that America is no different today than it was 100 years ago because of that text. And I'm like, you don't even see, you don't get it, do you? They did that on purpose, and you responded exactly how they wanted you to respond. You responded the same way the last time they round you up, tried to make you a slave. You ain't fight back. You was just like, they keep subjugating us. You was supposed to be like, oh, really? I'd be like, well, bring it. Let's do it. Let's do it. That was supposed to be the response, but that ain't what happened. They got the weak, feeble, we just always picking on us. It's so sad. Lord have mercy. Sister Mary, oh, I miss you so. Hi, Mary. Good to see you. Okay, giving is contagious. Love you, sis. Oh, listen. It might be. I don't know, because they coming, and I am grateful for it. Normally we're in other live chats, and me and Sister Mary, we be cutting up. But I haven't really, outside of Brother Rick's live chat last night, I wasn't there for a little bit. We got to talk for a little bit. Y'all, Rick was doing a darn thing last night. Brother Rick Caldwell over at Caldwell Apologetics. Y'all be sure to check out his channel. He is one of my day one content creator YouTubers, and I absolutely love his content. And I will always pop in because I know Rick is teaching the word over there, and you can never get enough of some good Bible teaching. So yes, I was able to see Sister Mary over there the other day. My other day one, Sister Michelle says, to God be the glory for exposing the foolishness, gaslighting, and propaganda of the fascist media machine. Isn't it beautiful how the very thing they were convincing the right of being is who they revealed themselves to be, the fascists, the anti-democracy. You know, when they told you Kamala was their candidate, but you didn't vote for her, that's fascist. That's authoritarian. That's tyrannical. And then when you disagree with them, how they treat you, how they turn mountains into molehills and be lying. Like that whole propaganda fest that they had with the comedian at the Trump rally that said Puerto Rico was like an island of floating garbage, when it is. They didn't talk about the reason why they have a trash problem over there. And it's because the Biden administration won't let them burn it because of their Green New Deal policies. They need to do something with the trash, but you won't let them. So when someone points out observable reality, like the whole island is just floating in trash, it's because it is. That was the truth. And Trump didn't say it. It was a comedian at his rally who said it. I really wish Trump would have said something about it and be like, first of all, can we talk about why Puerto Rico got a trash problem? Can we talk about that? Like, I would have did it. I'd be like, listen, it's unfortunate that La Isla Bonita, it's sad that that beautiful island is succumbing to this, but it's because y'all and your stupid policies won't give them a viable solution to deal with the trash, so now they got to live in it. If I were Trump, I would have went over there and said, listen, we're going to pick up all your trash, and we're going to take it somewhere else where they don't have these oppressive policies, and we're going to burn it. Light it up and keep the party going. That's what I would have did if I was Trump. Like, he showed up in a garbage truck. He should have showed up with some sort of solution for that one. That would have been a good counter narrative to that. And they would have been so pissed off because they would have still been like, he still didn't have to say it. That was so offensive. So sick of them. They get on my nerves. Be real, Fabes. How are you? Thank you so much for that super chat. So grateful for your love gift tonight. I appreciate it. And then finally, we have Brother Chris Paul. Hey, Chris, how are you? Sister in Christ, you are a treasure. Keep focusing on Jesus. It is all about Jesus. Absolutely. He is the reason why we live. We live, breathe, move, have our being. It's all of Christ for all of life. The grace that has been bestowed upon us as individuals and then us in this great nation, we cannot take for granted. Y'all, we got mercy. Grace is getting unmerited favor. Mercy is getting what you don't deserve, because y'all, we deserve judgment. But the Lord was kind. He was kind to us and he gave us mercy, and we should wake up every day, always, regardless of who's in office, with the spirit of gratitude and doing what Thessalonians says, give thanks in all circumstances, for this is the will of God in Christ Jesus concerning you. We should always be doing that. But I'm hoping that the results of this election do not keep Christians off their knees. They need to be a little bit more rusty. We need to be on our knees even more. Because as the Trump administration tries to go in and clean house and start righting some things that have been wrong, oh, the devil, you think he busy now? Listen, it's going to get real. You really going to see the face of evil. But God is on our side. He's always preserved his church, and he's always taking care of the people of God. So I would just admonish, if you're not a Christian, this would be a good time to repent of your sin and trust in Christ. This would be a good time to do that. It's always a good time to do it. But more importantly, today is the day of salvation, and the day that you hear the good news of the gospel proclaimed, which provides you a way to be reconciled to God, to have your sin atoned for, as if you had never sinned, despite being guilty, having all of your sin imputed to the sinless Lamb of God who came to take away the sins of the world. That is a beautiful message. The message of hope and redemption and life through Christ can be yours if you repent of your sin. Place your faith in what Christ has done, who did all the work. And then the good works that you do from that flow from your repentant heart and having received grace being bestowed upon you, which is a gift you don't deserve. So I love you guys with the love of the Lord. I was going to say one announcement. We here at Standard House Media are toying with the idea of doing a tri-weekly show. I am toying with the idea of doing a Monday, Wednesday, and Friday show. My Monday, Wednesday show, I'm thinking about doing it on the other side of the set, a little bit more intimate, where I cover multiple topics, and it's only going to be a 1 hour show. Like, I'm not going to be here for 3 hours. Do that on Monday and Wednesday. And then Friday, I am thinking about keeping this format, but the goal is to come to you more often and to put more content out there so I can address more topics, because I can't address everything in one show. And my inbox is piling up of all of the wonderful, y'all, it's like content creator Christmas in my inbox. Y'all send me so many good things to talk about, and I can't talk about it all. So the only way to do that, I got to do more shows. So I'm going to set a poll of how many of you think that a Monday, Wednesday, Friday show schedule would be amazing, with Monday and Wednesday being a 1 hour show, and then Friday being my marathon live stream. And then eventually, the eventual goal is to do a show every single day, 1 hour a week, 1 hour a day, and then Friday, my marathon show. But I'm going to start baby steps. I'm going to start with 3, and then we'll see how that goes. And then we'll eventually increase to 5 days a week. And the goal is for y'all to get so sick and tired of me that you just be like, it's just too much, right? That's the goal. So I'll put up a poll about that. I want you guys to vote in that. And then we'll see how it goes. I'd love to start this Monday, but I think we have a few kinks we have to work out before we can do that. We got to finish completing the set over there. But that's the next thing on the horizon. And I'm hoping doing that will get me over that threshold of 100,000 subscribers before the end of the year, so that we can celebrate our 3-year anniversary, y'all. That's going to be cool. So I love you guys. Until next time, grace and peace.